Pick an uprising, any uprising, not just this one, anyone. Egypt, Libya, Syria, now Ukraine. Same sad story, but billions upon billions of dollars later. How are we changing that story? Welcome, everybody. I'm Neil Cavuto, and here we go again. The White House now offering $1 billion in aid to help out a fledgling government in Ukraine. The administration calling it technical assistance to help Ukraine rebuild its shattered economy as it continues to face down a military threat from Russia. But how can we be so sure where that money is going and whether it even goes there? And about giving, period. $1.7 billion in humanitarian aid for Syria. Still an inhuman place. More than $3 billion to stabilize things in Egypt. Still very unstable. $3 billion for Libya to get it back to being normal. Far from normal. All well intended. But just like the billion spent fixing roads and bridges, we still have broken roads and bridges. And now we're trying to fix broken governments again. Ron Paul says this has got to end because we're tapped out. Congressman, here we go again. I always believe with big hearts and very big and worthy goals, but to no real financial end.
Well, you know by good intention where it gets you, and that's generally the case. And you mentioned Syria. We ended up getting money in to help some people when we were helping the Al-Qaeda. But, you know, I thought one thing that might be a unintended consequence, you know, the new government wants some money. They said there's a pressing need. Of course, we're supposed to come up with $1 billion, but it's going to be a lot more than that because the Europeans promised $15 billion, and that we will be obligated for some of that. But they're going to, that assumes that we have the money and assumes that there are no pressing needs in this country and that we're going to send them this money. But I think something that interesting that might happen, the unintended consequences, you know, one of the things is they're behind on their payments to Russia for their natural gas. So maybe if we send the money to the new government, they will pay Russia the money for their gas so they don't turn off their gas lines or something like that. But those are the kind of things. It's wasteful. It's a bad policy. We have no business being involved there, and we certainly don't have any money to send them. So I would say the sooner we get out of there, the better.
Yeah, you know, leaving aside, I think, as you point out, you know, whether we could change things with our money, and we don't have the money. You're quite right on that. We're running these deficits even now and piling up the debt even now. You don't know who you're giving it to, right? I mean, the case of Syria, we thought the good guys were good guys, and they turned out to be bad guys. We saw that in Libya. We've seen that countless times in countless conflicts before. So our intentions are always good. I never besmirch them. What I worry about is whether we have any follow-through, because we have committed trillions over the years to various causes that just don't pan out.
You know, I think there are two things going on. I think the support from the most members of Congress, as well as from the people of this country, it's well intended. Well, we have to help these people out. There's poor people starving. We can't let them starve. But I think there's ulterior motives behind a lot of this, too. Our interventions overseas, we don't have clean hands. Sometimes it has to do with energy and special interests and the military-industrial complex, all kinds of special interests. So they lead the charge. But to get total support from the people, that translates into support from Congress, it's usually this whole idea that it's well-intentioned and we're going to help the people that really suffer. I believe in that, but I think we should help the people here in this country by allowing them to keep their own money and spend their own money that way. And if they want to donate to these countries, fine and dandy. But that is good and well-intended, too.
And by the way, you're right about that. Americans will, in times of crises and hurricanes and disasters, be they in Haiti or anywhere else, they will give out of their own wallets. But my issue here is that a lot of times, to your point, Congress, we try to, you know, buy their love, and we only end up putting a deposit on their hatred, you know?
That's right. It always backfires, and it always gets in the hand of the bad. I've always argued that foreign aid is a process where you take money from poor people in this country and give it to rich people in other countries, because the people never seem to be helped. The special interests seem to be helped. It's government to government with usually some obligations. Well, we'll send you this money as long as you buy this contract and buy some goods and services from the United States. So, no, I think the founders are right. Stay out of the internal affairs of other nations. alliance, get away from these entangling alliances, mind our own business, and, develop trade relations. I was thinking they were showing the map today of all those pipelines going through Ukraine. And here it is. There's a lot of economic interest, and that's why they're saying, well, maybe there won't be sanctions. So the more there's a combination of economic interest, today we're less likely to fight China because of economic interest. When I was in high school, of course, we were killing each other. So I want economic, integration, and that is good, and it's a long way from what they call isolationism. Right now, I think sanctions are isolationist, and that's what they're getting ready to put on.
I think your message about using our head with our heart is well received. Thank you, sir.